Hey guys, it's Kat and I am here to finally talk about Otakon 2022. It was my first Otakon ever. After growing up in the DC area and always wanting to go, I finally got to go and I had an absolute great time, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. As you might have heard, Otakon was extremely busy this year. I actually went on Thursday to get my badge because it was a local con and I just thought it would be fun. I dressed up as Sero on his birthday, so I was like, I'll go get my badge. And I am so happy I did because I had friends on Friday that waited in line for 2 or 3 hours on Friday and Saturday, which is just absolutely insane. I haven't experienced anything like that since Katsucon, so yeah, Otakon was extremely busy. But once you got inside the actual con, it didn't really feel that busy. You didn't feel overwhelmed. Artist Alley and the Merchants Hall were really spaced out, which I really loved. So there was never a point where you felt suffocated. There were points where, you couldn't find somewhere to sit, but they had a lot of outdoor seating. And there was actually a park across the street where I took a lot of pictures, and there were ice cream trucks everywhere. So if you needed like a cheap water, a lemonade, or like a refreshing snack, you could have access to that, which was really nice because a lot of cons don't have, ice cream trucks outside or a park that is easily accessible. So that was definitely a plus for Otakon. Day one was a lot of fun. I got there around 4, so the lines had completely died down, and I met up with AJ and Alex and Albert, which was really awesome. I sadly didn't get a lot of footage when we were hanging out because I was just having way too much fun. I also met up with some of my local friends who were doing like a Demon Slayer group, so we took some pictures with them and we went outside and took pictures, which that's one thing I can say about Otakon is there's so much space to take pictures. There's so many different places. Of course, it's not like a Katsucon where, you have the gazebo and all those things, but there's definitely places you can take great pictures, which is nice because some cons don't really have those options. There was also a giant photo suite that I didn't take advantage of, but a lot of my friends did. It had different backgrounds and things like that, and I don't think you had to pay to use it, which was really nice. Um, we did the con, went to Merchants Hall, went to Artist Alley, did all that, and then afterwards we actually went to an after party at a ramen spot in Eastern Market. And if you're not familiar with DC, it's about a 10 to 15 minute Uber ride away. And so that was the basement level. I will say it was pretty crowded, and they said they were going to do a cosplay contest, but like a casual cosplay contest just for fun, more of a runway. And me and my friend Taylor signed up for it. And it was supposed to start at 9, and like it didn't for 30 minutes, and they didn't have food. So we were very hungry and we just kind of left before the contest started. We ended up going to Yard House, which any con I do that's in the Washington Convention Center specifically, like within DC, I will go to Yard House. That's like my go-to spot for after con meals. And of course we had ice cream from the ice cream trucks. That was kind of an everyday thing. And day one was just a lot of fun. I really needed that. I'd been having a tough week beforehand, and yeah, I couldn't say anything bad about day one. It was so awesome. So by this point, I had kind of realized that getting to the con later was just better. I did not want to wait in lines, especially with the DC humidity, and that it's kind of been stormy here recently, so I didn't want to get caught in the rain. I did Maki on the second day, and that makeup also took me a long time, and I was happy I gave myself just the time to kind of like test it out, because I had never tested that cosplay before. So I got to the con. I barely got any footage this day because, again, I was just having too much fun to like vlog. I met up with AJ, Albert, and Alex again just to say hi real quick. Ran to Artist Alley to meet up with my friends who were cosplaying JJK characters. We were planning on going to the Jjk Meetup. And so I did Artist Alley alone because they were kind of more ahead of me. I cannot describe to you how big this Artist Alley was. It was probably the biggest I've ever been in. I only got to 3 aisles in like 2 hours because I just was, I mean, you just walk and go. it was nice doing it alone because I got time to like really look and like take in everything, but also I made, again, bad financial decisions. Not really, but I definitely bought more than I thought I would. So after we did that, we went to the Jjk Meetup at 7. It was so fun. There were so many talented cosplayers there. The energy was amazing, and there was other meetups happening around us, and cosplay meetups are just really fun. If you ever go to a convention, if you're going to your first con, look at the schedule, find a meetup for the cosplay you're doing. I cannot recommend it enough. It's a great way to meet other cosplayers and other people who love the same things that you do. And so after that, I was so hungry, but we went outside again to take pictures, and my friend Albert ended up meeting up with me, and we were like, let's go get food. We got ice cream first, of course, because why not? But all the restaurants around that area was like a 2 hour wait, and we were just like, no. So we ended up getting District Taco, Uber Eats to his hotel. We ate there, took our wigs off for a little bit. It was awesome. And I kind of made I like to go on adventures and do spontaneous stuff. So I was like, why don't we go to the National Mall where all the monuments are and take pictures? So we took the 15-minute Uber. We spent like 2 hours walking around all the monuments, taking pictures, everything. It was like one of those core memories that you'll never forget. And this guy ended up coming up to me and he was like, do you know why I'm approaching you? And I was like, no, because you have to think, we're at the national monuments. I'm in cosplay with a sword and like burns all over me. I don't know what's happening. It turns out he was a huge fan of JJK. He had a little Itadori pouch, and he was from Romania visiting the US for the first time, and he ended up taking a picture with me. It was such a cool experience. And then after that, we ended up going to the gaming hall just to check it out because we hadn't gone in there yet, and we kind of like walked around there. And then we finished off the night going to a cocktail bar, which was really cool. And then we got more ice cream. The ice cream trucks were out there until like 3 a.m., which was insane. We also didn't go to the rave, but we went to like the after part of the rave where everyone was clearing out, and we ended up meeting with a few of our mutuals, and we ended up walking them to their hotel. So yeah, Saturday was a very long day, but it was probably the most fun day just because I had never really like done a really late night at a con like that. I've never gone, after midnight into the gaming hall or anything. So it was a new experience. And again, the national monuments, that was just a core memory I'll never forget. So day 3 was Inuyasha Day. I did Yura of the Hair, and I was supposed to go to Inuyasha Meetup in the morning, but I had a migraine, and I ended up getting to the con a little bit later. I really just like walked in, found Albert, and then we found AJ and our friend Alex, and and our friend Grace, and just went outside and started taking pictures. I was really excited to see Grace because I haven't seen her since AwesomeCon, and that was a nice little surprise. I didn't know she was going to Otakon. And then yeah, we were just taking pictures and kind of hanging out. My friend Taylor came. She was doing Maki, and she brought her partner Dave. So that was really fun. It was kind of cool because it was like my local friends were combining with my friends from the internet, which I just really had a lot of fun just seeing that. Uh, Alex had to go because she was taking her train. So we all walked over to the Marriott while we were waiting for AJ to return, and we were supposed to get served food. We were hungry. And no one ever came. We went up to the bar a couple times. We're like, hey, can we order here? And they're like, no, we're sending someone. And just, they never sent anyone. I will say the Marriott atrium is like cool to hang out in and like sit in if you need a place inside to sit. But the service was meh. So we ended up going over to the Capitol Burger and just had a great time. The service was awesome. The drinks were great. They give you pickles as an appetizer, which I'm a fan of. And we ended up having boozy milkshakes, which was really good. And so Grace ended up going home, Taylor and Dave ended up going home, and we walked Amanda back to their hotel, and we just kind of like hung out, chilled, relaxed, had a great conversation. And overall, I will say it was great because that was kind of like my core group. Um, and it was just really fun. It was just great vibes the entire weekend, and I feel like we all just had a good time. Otakon was really fun. I've never been, like I said before, and I had always dreamed of going, so that was really cool. And I'm definitely gonna go again next year. So, yeah, that was kind of my experience. My closing thoughts are get your badge as early as possible Thursday night. I would recommend because the amount of people that are going to Otakon probably next year is going to be just as much as this year. And while they may not have the COVID restrictions that they had, I still feel like the lines will be really long. And so, yeah, get your badge as early as possible. I would also say allow yourself enough time to see both Merchants Hall and Artist Alley because they are on different sides of the convention center, and you will have to walk through a crowd of people to get over to either or. So just give yourself time or just allot a day. Be like, Friday, I'm going to see Merchants Hall. Saturday, I'm going to see Artist Alley. I would also say on Sunday, they kind of closed a little bit early, which was weird, and they weren't letting anyone in the building. I'm not sure if something happened, but just keep that in mind as well. Once you go in on Sunday, I would just stay until you're actually ready to leave for good because they did not let us back in on Sunday, even though it was before the time that the guidebook said the con closed. So, yeah, those are my closing thoughts.